Some players just break records. Others break the entire rule book. From violent collisions that rewrote safety protocols,
the ball behind second base, he was going to turn that way to make a throw,
to scoring tricks so annoying they made the league rewrite what counts as a foul.
He was never that far down the mound. That guy.
These are the MLB players who were so unstoppable, the league literally had to change the rules to stop them. Let's start with Barry Bonds, who gave all of his opponents something to cry about. From 2001 to 2004, every time Barry Bonds walked up to the plate, the entire stadium shifted. Pitchers were visibly sweating, and outfielders backed up as far as humanly possible.
And that'll bring up Barry Bonds. And he hits one high. He hits one deep. McCovey Cove out of here.
The catcher wouldn't even squat over the plate. He'd set up way outside because nobody wanted to give Bonds anything close to a pitch he could hit.
In the month of May, first in home runs. Look out! He hits it high. He hits it deep. Out of here.
Into McCovey Cove, Bonds has done it again. Number 519. He is.
And for good reason. Bonds was launching home runs like it was a video game stuck on rookie mode. In 2001, he smashed 73 homers. By 2004, he was being intentionally walked 120 times in a single season.
One swing of the bat, Barry Bonds shares the title with Willie McCovey for the most home runs ever hit in the National League by a left-handed hitter.
That's a number so absurd, it barely sounds real. Teams were so afraid of what might happen if they pitched to him that they actually walked him with bases loaded.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. And they're gonna walk him in the home run derby. He's gonna get an intentional walk. You gotta be.
Let that sink in. He was so good, they'd rather give up a run than give him a swing. MLB had no choice but to respond. In 2004, they changed the way intentional walks worked. Managers could now simply signal for one, instead of throwing 4 meaningless pitches.
Barry Bonds didn't give a then. Barry Bonds don't give a now.
But that was just the surface. Umpires started calling a lighter strike zone around Bonds because his plate discipline was so perfect, and any borderline call could turn into another moonshot.
I was able to mathematically calculate what a pitcher can and can't do. Once I can calculate you, then I can beat you. I have to understand what my swing technique is and then understand the velocity of a pitch and the velocity of the ball. The faster it comes to me, the further it goes.
Equipment rules were also reevaluated. Bats were tested more rigorously, and body armor came under scrutiny because Bonds practically leaned into the plate with an elbow guard the size of a car bumper. He didn't get an official rule named after him, but make no mistake, Bonds changed the game. His dominance pushed MLB to rewrite how pitchers were managed, how equipment was monitored, and how discipline at the plate could be weaponized. He didn't just bend the rules, he made baseball flinch.
What better way to start up with all the greats watching? And they're going to walk him in the home run derby. He's going to get it.
Barry Bonds is the only player in history who made pitchers give up. Umpires adjust their calls, and the league itself panic. They didn't ban his bat, his swing, or his records, but they made damn sure no one could ever do what he did again. And if Bonds forced MLB to protect its pitchers, the next guy forced his opponents to cave in the worst way. It was Game 2 of the 2015 NLDS, Dodgers versus Mets. Mets shortstop Ruben Tejada was trying to turn a double play when Chase Utley came barreling in, not for the base, but for Tejada's legs.
Check this out. This was going to be a tough turn anyway. The ball behind second base, he was going to turn that way to make a throw. Utley got off in a great...
Utley didn't even touch second. He slammed into Tejada, flipping him midair like a gymnastics fall and sending him crashing to the ground.
Secondary lead, and he gets right there to break up the double play.
Didn't even start sliding till he was even with the bag. Mattingly's on the field because he might challenge.
Tejada broke his leg, missed the rest of the playoffs, and somehow Utley still ruled safe.
Or not? Did his toe get on the bag?
There's a little space right there. I'm wondering, how do they treat Utley not touching second base?
Fans were furious. The Mets were losing it, and the commentators couldn't agree if it was brilliant or just dirty. But here's the wild part. It wasn't technically illegal, at least not yet.
It'll be up to Terry Collins right now, who can say, look, I'd like to challenge as well, and say the runner never touched the bat.
That hit was so brutal, so game-changing, that the very next season, MLB rewrote the rulebook. Now, if you're sliding into second, it has to be a bona fide slide.
Players who thought that was intentional.
Right.
Yeah, your reaction to that?
The first thing I thought of when I got to first base was that I'm going to run down and break the shortstop's leg. And I don't think people really recognize how fast the game moves, and especially in those situations.
Meaning you have to actually try to touch the base, not just bulldoze someone because you're Chase freaking Utley.
Always played the game extremely hard and aggressive, and that was a play that was hard and aggressive, and it was really...
If you go off track, you're out. And so is the double play. The change became known as the Utley rule. That's how iconic and controversial he was. It didn't just stop dangerous slides. It changed how defenses operated in the late innings.
When I realized I was going to hit him harder than I anticipated, I kind of let up a bit. So I guess maybe it could have been worse. I don't know. All I know is that I was trying to break up the double play for us to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
Middle infielders could finally breathe when turning two, knowing they weren't about to get taken out like it was an action movie.
Big changes in the offseason for Major League Baseball, Jack, as we know, the slide into second base and creating new rules. It's become very complicated, very controversial.
Before this, playing second felt like trying to turn a double play while someone threw a flying elbow at your knees. And if you think that was extreme, wait till you see how the league tried with this next player. Picture any Red Sox game from the mid-2000s to the mid-2010s. Big Papi steps up to the plate, the crowd's going insane, and then you look at the field.
Ortiz with a shift on will just bunt it down the third base line for a base hit.
Wait, why are there three guys stacked on the right side of second base? One of them's basically camping out in a shallow right field. Simple, David Ortiz was that good and that predictable. He pulled everything. Fastballs, curveballs, knuckleballs, probably even your mom's Thanksgiving leftovers. If it came inside, he was launching it to right field. So, defenses started shifting hard. They relocated. Infielders stacked up like a human wall, daring him to beat the shift. And to be fair, it worked.
David Ortiz getting a big hand behind home plate. If you are within eyesight of David Ortiz, you're going to...
Hits turned into outs. Offense dipped. And for lefties, it felt like they were hitting into a glitch in the matrix. But that wasn't baseball anymore. It was geometry. So in 2023, MLB stepped in and changed the rules.
Is that taking like 500 hits away from me?
No more crazy shifts. Now, two infielders have to stay on each side of second base, and all four must keep their feet on the dirt before the pitch.
Force a hitter to do that, 70% you are out because you don't have no time to think. And the only time you have to think about things is that time. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know how this baseball game is going to end up.
Sure, the rule wasn't only about Ortiz, but let's be real, he was the reason everyone started shifting in the first place. He'd hit so hard, so often, that teams had to break the field just to slow him down.
Every time they want to speed up the game, they focus on the hitters. Have you noticed that? How about the pitchers that go around the mound and do all that bull? How about that? Why don't you tell the pitcher, throw the pitch and stay in the mound. Don't move. How about the guy in the mound that eats like this for 3 hours? That counts?
And in the end, the league had to ban the strategy altogether. Ortiz didn't have to move much. He made the entire infield move for him. And if Big Papi made defenses bend sideways, wait till you see the guy who made the mound bend backward. It's 2015 and a night game at Marlins Stadium. Carter Capps takes the mound. It's already iconic, but wait until you see what happens next.
Pitch. Says ball 2. And they actually had a discussion with the head of umpire.
Carter lifts his leg, starts his windup, and then he jumps. Not a little toe drag or a step. A full-on launch off the rubber, lands halfway to home plate, then throws the pitch.
Going forward, what was going to be called on him? Wow, he's way down there.
Wow. 0-2 pitch.
Everyone watching had the same reaction. Wait, can he do that? And for a while, yeah, he could. Capps had basically invented aerial pitching. His delivery looked like someone combined a fastball with a long jump.
An amendment that you had to drag your toe. That if you kind of lunged off the bag and you dragged your back toe, then it was okay. But that he doesn't.
Hitters were panicking. Umpires basically lost their shit. And fans were wondering if they'd accidentally tuned into Olympic track and field.
Grass. So if you want to measure from the edge of the grass, maybe 6 inches onto the dirt to home plate.
But it was too weird, too fast, and obviously too effective. So, in 2017, MLB had to rewrite the rules. They clarified that pitchers must keep 1 foot in contact with the rubber during their windup. No jumping, no crow hopping, no acrobatics allowed. Capps couldn't pitch for much longer, but his hop-shuffle delivery was so game-breaking, the league had to shut it down before it became a trend.
That far down the mound, that guy's hand, that ball is still behind his right hip when he finally lands on the ground.
He didn't just toe the line, he leapt over it. And while he was flying through the air, the next guy broke the game by barely moving at all. Unless you count the 2 bases, he basically stole every inning. In June 2014, the Padres drafted Trea Turner. He was pretty dope, to say the least, and he was easily one of the fastest players in college baseball, with a cannon for an arm and insane potential.
Left side. Turner throws off balance and got the out.
That's a run-saving play by Zimmerman.
But just 2 weeks after drafting him, the Padres traded him, or at least tried to. There was one big problem. MLB rules at the time didn't allow newly drafted players to be traded until a full year after the draft.
You had been traded. I had absolutely no idea. Do I talk to this guy? What do I do? How strange was that entire experience for you?
Yeah, it was weird, but, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I think everything worked out.
So, instead of an immediate deal, Turner was labeled a player to be named later. In plain English, that meant he played for the Padres while everyone already knew he belonged to the Nationals.
Well for me and in my career, and, I enjoy my time here, but, it was short, and now we're on to the next one, and, it's worked out good.
What followed was one of the most awkward stretches in modern baseball. The Padres had no incentive to develop him, and the Nationals couldn't touch him.
Morgan Burghardt, he was my AA hitting coach with the Padres, so, that coaching staff, Jamie Quirk, and Morgan, treated me great. Then they coached me just like any one of their players in the system. I try to work, try to get better, and just take it day by day and enjoy it, and I did. I know that day was weird when I got traded, but, hats off to the coaching staff.
Turner was stuck in limbo, jogging through a season with a team that didn't really want him, waiting for a future that couldn't legally begin yet. Eventually, MLB realized how ridiculous the situation was. In 2015, they changed the rule. From then on, recently drafted players could be traded after the World Series, instead of having to wait a full year. Turner was the last high-profile player to get caught in that mess. He didn't just run bases. He ran right past a broken rule and forced the league to fix it.
Runs pretty well. That was not close at first. Fantastic play.
He was so fast, he got traded before he even officially existed. And while Turner exposed the flaws in MLB's trade system, the next guy found an even sneakier way to mess with the rulebook by turning hit-by pitches into a free ride. It's 2021, Angels versus Yankees, and Shohei Ohtani's on the mound throwing 100-mile-an-hour heaters. In the very next inning, he's stepping up to the plate and launching baseballs into the sky.
A swing and a miss, a delayed double steal attempt, throw to the plate is not in time!
He's the starting pitcher and the designated hitter at the same time. But there was one major issue. The MLB rulebook was never built for a player like this. Pitchers don't hit anymore. Designated hitters definitely don't pitch.
Kind of proven as a hitter and a pitcher, but can he do the same things at the same time and stay healthy? He's only, Joe, going into his age 26 season, which is amazing.
So when Ohtani decided to do both, it left scorekeepers, managers, and umpires sweating through their coats like someone just unplugged the league and plugged it back in.
Shohei has 119 strikeouts in his 90 innings this year. Swing and a miss. High fastball at 98. Shohei dials up.
The rule said that once a pitcher leaves the game, the designated hitter is supposed to go with him. So if the Angels pulled Ohtani from the mound, they'd lose his bat too, which made 0 sense. Why would you punish a guy just because he's elite at 2 things?
The guy who was the starting pitcher in the game hit the hardest exit velocity homer in the StatCast era for the Angels. And Mike Trout is on the team.
MLB agreed, and in 2022, they introduced the Ohtani rule. It allows a starting pitcher to stay in the batting lineup as a designated hitter even after he's done pitching.
The MLB is implementing the Shohei Ohtani rule. This means when a pitcher is removed from the mound during a game, they can still remain in the designated hitter position.
Yes, that rule literally exists because of one man. This wasn't just a small update, it was a total reset. It opened the door for future two-way players, if anyone can even come close to what Ohtani's doing. He didn't just break the mold, he made the mold irrelevant.
The reason why this is a big deal is because previously when Shohei got taken out of the games when he was pitching, they didn't know what to do with him. Like, they kind of just stuck him in the outfield sometimes. Now he can just continue to be the DH, and this really encourages more two-way players as we move forward.
Ohtani was so good, the rulebook basically said, you know what, I quit. And while he was forcing the league to rethink how positions work, the next guy forced him to rethink time itself. Because some pitchers took so long between throws, MLB had no choice but to pull out the stopwatch. It's the early 2000s. Akira Suzuki steps into the box for the first time in the MLB. First pitch, slap, base hit to the left. Next at bat, slap to the right. Then a bunt. Then an infield chopper.
0 for 3 in his Mariner and Major League debut. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball back up the middle. That's into center field. And Ichiro is on the board with his first Major League hit. A sharply.
Every single time, it felt like defenses were playing a game of where's it going this time and losing.
348, including his hit tonight. Right back through the middle, and that's going to go through into center field. I mean, watch this. It's unbelievable, the location of this.
He didn't swing hard. He didn't need to. Akira just always hit the ball. Perfect placement, ridiculous control, and speed that turned grounders into base hits. He basically made defenders irrelevant, and that's when teams started panicking. They began experimenting with aggressive defensive shifts, before shifting was even a thing.
Ichiro Suzuki. Most of us remember the Japanese star for his 19-year MLB career. He's a lock for the Hall of Fame and tallied over 3,000 hits, ranking 24th all time. But 24th isn't even close to Pete.
Coaches started changing how they taught infield positioning. Scouts had to rewrite their own playbook. Akira wasn't just messing with pitchers, he was bending the entire field. While MLB didn't pass an official Akira rule, his insane consistency laid the groundwork for the eventual shift ban in 2023. And he wasn't done there. Akira even danced along the edge of legality with his iconic running start from the batter's box. He was so smooth, so precise, that umpires had to double-check what counted as a legal swing. So, which MLB player do you think broke the game the hardest? Drop it in the comments. And if you love this deep dive into legendary baseball players, make sure to subscribe for more stories that rewrote MLB history.